Fire Radio.
Hey everybody, Jeremy, National Fire Radio. Welcome back to the podcast today. And sorry, that was a little over the top. I do apologize. But today, if you're watching the video of this, you're gonna be like, what is this? This is the triplets right now. We are all wearing jerseys, hockey jerseys, black, red, and white. Got the captain logo, got the National Fire Radio Tiller Time logo on the front from FDIC from 2 years ago, and so on. And then today, I'm here with Drew Schaumann and Chance Craven, two gentlemen that have been on the podcast with me before. They've become good friends. I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago in FDIC. Drew, a little backstory before we get started. And you guys jump in whenever you want, because this is going to be a free-for-all today for sure. We're wearing these jerseys because originally these jerseys, in 2024 at FDIC, I created jerseys for my team at National Fire Radio to wear during FDIC. And then we're doing the auction, Firefighter Row. We're doing a live auction for Next Rung, I believe. Was it Next Rung was the charity, right? Yeah, it was in 24. Yeah. And we're doing a charity. And, of course, they asked the guy with the big mouth to get up there and be the auctioneer on a bunch of items. And so I hopped up there, started doing it. We started running out of items. Next thing you know, somebody from the crowd says, how much for the jersey? Because I was rocking it at the time. And I was like, you know what? Getting called out like that, I did not want to give this thing away. This was one of one. This was the one that's going to get hung from the rafters in 25 years from now when we sell this thing for $1 billion and move on in life and enjoy cocktails in the beach somewhere. And so this was supposed to hang from the rafters. And next thing you know, this guy starts bidding this thing up. And out of nowhere, Drew Schaumann, out of nowhere, $700 for the jersey. And that's what it went for that day, Drew. And super generous. And so I didn't have a choice but to take that thing off my body, which I wasn't wearing a shirt underneath, so that was fun in front of 200 brothers and sisters sitting there with no shirt on for a few minutes. I don't mind. Not that I'm the most fit guy in the world, but hey, I don't care. For charity,
you
right?
Owned it. You did. If I
yeah,
recall
you have
correctly,
to.
You did a dance.
Bro, you have to, right? I mean, this is what I want people to understand is like sometimes you just got to let it go. And you got to enjoy the moments. And maybe that's one of the lessons here that we can dive into, but like the moment, like take advantage of it, man. Like with National Fire Radio, I put myself out there all the time. And Chance, with you and Honor Supply Co., you put yourself out there. You put your guys out there. And Drew, I know you down in the firehouse and working with Wheaton and his crew, like being a part of that crew, you put yourself out there. Like I think the only way we get success in life is if you're willing to put yourself out there.
Yep.
So I did. And Drew took my jersey off my back, put it on. I signed it. And he took it home to Florida. And now I'm thinking to myself, like, now what? That was my jersey, man. Like, that was supposed to hang from the rafters. So here we are. Fast forward. What I said to Drew, I had Drew come on the podcast last year after FDIC. He joined me. And we talked about your journey and your story. And it really made sense to me why you support Next Rung and in missions like that, and so on, organizations that are there to help promote brotherhood and sisterhood by protecting our, working and on our mental health and helping us and with counseling and so on. So that's very important to you. And I learned that through your story. And so it makes sense. And then I said to you at the end of it, I said, here's what I'd like to do. I want to get my jersey back. So I'm going to create a new one. I'll send you the new one, and off we go. And so what I did was I created a number 24 and a number 25, each representing the year. I brought a 25, and next thing you know, fast forward, here we are at FDIC. Drew brought my jersey back to FDIC this year, 2025, just a couple weeks ago, and he's rocking it around the place. I see him. I'm like, here we go. And next thing you know, it goes up for auction again. And Chance Craven swoops in $1,000 this year to the nonprofit Next Rung and Blake Stinnett, who had a terrible accident in the line of duty several months ago, and he's still healing and coming back from that. And next thing you know, another guy pops up, Chance Craven, and throws down a cool G to pick up the jersey, and now you're rocking a number 25. And hopefully next year there'll be a 26 and a 27 and 28 as years go on. But guys, thank you. Like, this is cool, man. I think we're starting something here. Like, 10 years from now, imagine if there's 11 of us sitting in here, like, doing this episode, right?
Whole squad, a National Fire Radio team.
We could. I love that. We got our own team.
How many people are on a hocky team? Y'all are well more versed in this than I am.
So you got 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and a goalie. So 6 on each side, but you're running at least 3 shifts, and then you got a couple extras. So you're looking at like 25, probably 22, 25 on the bench.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Got to get all the hockey guys to start buying the jerseys.
Right?
Right.
I think it would be pretty cool.
Take pictures of y'all playing hockey.
This is what's not. You can't ice skate. South Carolina guy can't get on skates.
Bro, my ACL screaming just thinking about it.
I get that. I totally get that. I want to say this. Thank you. Not just for your friendship and getting to know you guys, but your commitment and passion for the fire service. And I think that's what comes through mostly when we talk about this. I mean, the jerseys are fun, but you guys, a lot of money. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk in life. And then it's the people that actually pony up. And if I can recognize you guys by putting a jersey on you or something like that, that's cool, man. And it just means the world to me. I don't know. Give me your ideas about this. I mean, I've been rambling now for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, you guys joined me today on the podcast. We're all rocking the same jerseys. And it's all about mission forward, right? Like, it's all about the fire service. And I just got done teaching. I'll give you a little story, and then I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. But I just I taught last night or yesterday afternoon in Ohio. Raced back last night, got home super late. But that room was full at probably 130 guys, I think, in there. And it was a great day of training and fellowship and brotherhood. And all I thought about the whole time was the 7-hour drive there, the 7-hour drive home, and the grind that I put in to do that. And yes, I get compensated for speaking and teaching, right? Like most do. But we don't do it for that. And I was thinking about that last night. I'm like 14 hours in the truck to get there and get home. And all to teach a 3-hour class. And I was just thinking about that. And for me, that's my penance, man. Like, that's what keeps me honest, right? Like, when I think about what we're doing, the absolute mission of the fire service is to pay it forward, right? It's been here before us. It will be here after us. It's what we do while we're here. And that's how I keep myself honest with all this, is that grind. And I have a lot of people like, how do you keep up your schedule? How do you travel like that? How do you do this? And how do you do that? I'm like, I don't have to do it if I didn't want to do it. And I kind of need that turn and burn to hold myself accountable. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So that's where I am right now. Mission forward, man. It's about doing the right thing. And that's kind of how all of our paths crossed. And Chance, you've been on the podcast. We talked about, you gave me a ride to the airport, and we just had a conversation that has lasted with me since the day we met. And Drew, you and I had spent many times conversing and talking, and then when you came on the show, I really learned a lot of your story. Like, those are moments that I don't forget, and that's why I tell people I'm the luckiest guy in the fire service. It's because I get to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So give me a little background on you guys then. Like, what are you doing here today with me? Why are you throwing money at Next Strong? Why is it important to pay it forward? Like, give me a little background. I mean, if people haven't heard your individual episodes, I would push them to go back and listen to them. But, Chance, let me start with you, bro. Honor Supply Company. It's all about paying it forward. It's all about capturing stories of firefighters, the emotion, the highs, the lows of the job. You're paying it forward. You're doing it at little to no cost to anyone. Like, incredible stuff, bro. Where's that come from?
Yeah, it really just comes from a high level. Again, having grown up in a Christian household and believing in Jesus, going back to, hey, I'm here on earth to serve, not be served. And one of the tools that I have to do that with is cameras and all this nerdy stuff. And then there's a million different people.
I always see those in the background. I think they're fake. I do.
I'm
kidding. I'm absolutely kidding.
We'll turn
But
these things on right now. They're ready to go
do you,
with batteries in them.
wow,
Like, we're
then
ready.
you got OCD,
So
bud. I didn't mean to interrupt your story, but
now hold on, I gotta measure this back out.
Nobody keeps their stuff that crazy. I mean, come
So
on.
it normally sits in a Pelican case, not on the wall. I do that for stuff like this.
That's what
Um, uh,
that's what I
but
figured.
it's just out of a desire to serve. And then the fire service has been something that I've always been intrigued with and been around good guys that are in that world. And so it was easy to pick up a camera, point it at people like you, and start taking those photos. In regards to the jerseys and the throwing money at it and stuff like that, to me, the fire service, like you're referring to, it's mission forward. And it's
Mm,
not just me, it's not just Honor Supply Co. The deeper you get in the fire service, the more you realize that everybody has a story. I didn't know Drew's story and how valuable Next Strong was and
yeah.
that conversation until listening to the NFR episode. And then even the hat he has on right now, 6 feet over. Like, that's a whole nother story and an impact. And so we're all intertwined together, and we all have struggles. We all have moments of high and low. And I think it's very important for us when we can to not just make it about ourselves, but help others. And I think that's where Next Rung's doing a phenomenal job. So though the jersey's cool, National Fire Radio is cool, the ability to throw some money their way and bring more awareness to what they're doing, easy decisions.
I talk a lot in my program about how I feel a lot of where we are today. It's we're focusing more on ourselves and not about everyone else. And we walk with our heads down, not with our heads up. And I can't implore people enough to just pick up their head and smile at people, a wink, hold a door open for somebody. Just be aware of your surroundings, care about those around you. I mean, that's what the fire service is truly built on. And I think a lot of the stumbling blocks that we're having today is because we've become more self-focused on our needs and not the needs of those around us. And you hit on some pretty good stuff there, bro. And that's I guess that's what resonates with me is, awareness, paying it forward, not even paying it forward, just being present for other people, acknowledging accountability, all those things, right? Those things matter. Get in there, Drew. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start, but I mean, for me, I mean, the relationships I've made are awesome. The jersey. Well, let me start here. So we get
Yeah.
back from FDIC, and I get back to the firehouse, and everybody wants to know what happened with the jersey, and
It's
so I'm telling the
hilarious.
story, and for those of you that weren't there, and Chance, I don't even know if you were here at this point. We're on Firefighter Road. Jeremy walked up, and he's like, "Man, the crowd's kind of light today. Like, how do you think this thing is going to do?" Because obviously, when we wanted to do not only raise more money, but just
Right.
keep the
Yeah.
hype going. And gets up, starts doing his thing, draws some people in, and next thing you know, the jersey Chance appears out of nowhere, like the Undertaker, and
Nice.
and $1,000, the thing gets sold. So I go back, tell the story at the station, and again, I'm talking about, I say, oh, the jersey sold for $1,000, and somebody at the table is like, man, who's going to pay $1,000 for the jersey? And I could go buy any jersey, any T-shirt, anything for a
Right.
fraction of that price. And at the end of the day, I explained to you, it's not the jersey, it's not the article of clothing that really means anything. Is it cool to have? Yes. Do I want to wear it and support National Fire Radio? But it's about the story, right? And
Yes.
I think that kind of takes me into my mindset and where I've been real lucky growing up. My dad is had a big department down here with Orlando. Always had great relationships through there. I grew up around the Orlando Fire Conference and around some of the tycoons of this service. Um, Obviously, started with Lake Mary, got on with Winter Park. Eric took me under his wing. I've been very fortunate to receive a lot of good teachings and mentorship, and always kind of been pushed in the right direction. And at some point, I'm actually sitting out here in my garage for a reason. A couple years ago, probably 2022, 2023, when I was kind of in my lower point, I realized that it wasn't about me. It wasn't me out here doing this, right? It was about the people that I was meeting, the relationships I was making, and that was important. When I'm done, when I'm gone, the calls are still going to happen. Even the calls I've run, they don't mean anything. I don't look back at them and relish on them. I mean, the fires are cool, yeah, but it's the relationships I've made. Every patch up here on my wall is somebody that I've met and traded one of my firehouse patches with. I got the Zach Newton art up. I got Maddie's stuff, his hat, his flag hanging up. I got National Fire Radio. I got Chance's pictures hanging up at my house. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned in my career is that our job is just the job. It's the people you meet, the friends you make, all of that is what makes this the best career. Um, so I'm just thankful, man. It's cool.
Well, you
I'll be honest. When I first met Chance, I was so I don't know if nervous is the right word, but intimidated to go talk to this guy. I mean, he walks around with this giant camera, the
right?
cool leather sling. Everybody's like saying, "Oh, Chance, Chance, Chance." I mean, Chance Craven. That's just a cool name in general.
It is
So when
action
I
star.
when I finally mustered up the
Ridiculous.
courage to go talk to him and found out what he's doing, from there it's like every time I see him now, I'll go say what's up, we'll chat, and
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for these relationships. So,
Well,
Chance, thank you for doing it this year.
bro, you
Absolutely.
you hit it hard, man. It's about I wrote it down, put quotes around it. It's about the story. You just said that, right? And when you break that down and you think about that, and you have had time to mature on the job, you have several years in now, and the focus of it all is, the job can certainly tear us down. And a lot of the negative and the bad stuff takes the front seat. And but to focus on the people that you share these experiences with, the highs and lows, those guys and girls that you're riding with, you're riding backwards with, going to fires with, having those successes, bro, that's what this is about. Like, people have to believe in people. We still need to buy into one another, and we got to enjoy it, because it's only better when you do it with someone else. It's never as good when you have an experience alone, right? Sometimes it is. Sometimes you need that self-fulfillment. But to be able to share an experience or do something with a group or people and have the highs of that, and maybe even sometimes the lows can bring you closer together, right? Like, it's about the story. And I think, to kind of just throw it back to Chance, isn't that what Honor Supply Company is all about? It's capturing the
100%.
story.
Yep. It's honoring firefighters by sharing what they do, which is essentially the story. And so, using Drew and the entire team that he travels with as an example, like, it's awesome to capture them year after year after year doing these things, because it is a photo, and most of the time the photo looks cool, but it's also a moment and season in their life of before an event or after an event. Hey, I met this person at this event. Even us, there's an exact photo that kind of encapsulates our relationship, the moment we met, the first time I saw you.
Really?
And so it
Well,
is
with
it is
Paige, with my
yeah,
my daughter one, yeah, that,
yeah.
bro,
And
you
so
made,
there's all these moments.
yeah, yeah. I go ahead, keep going. I'll tell that story in a
No,
minute, man.
you're good.
That's
But I mean,
bro.
that's what
That
it is. It's stories. It may be
I
in a
wanna.
picture form, but it's a story.
I can't even begin to tell you that more. I shared it when you and I. If people listening or watching this go back and watch the episode I did with Chance, we start off talking about that moment, and it's hard for me because I'm often the one giving, if you will.
Yep.
And I don't mean that in a pompous way by any means. I mean that in a way of, like, I'm always finding myself, because I get enjoyment out of that, doing things for others, right? And it's not often I get surprised by something from someone else that I don't see it coming, right? I don't know. It's weird. I kind of just, my life is kind of goes my way because I kind of control it to go my way. So when something happens that's unexpected and it's done just to, as a left field thank you or appreciation to something that I've done along the way, it takes my breath away, bro. It doesn't happen often. And I remember that morning, it was like 7:30 in the morning. I was scrolling through Instagram, and I came across this photo, and I was like, I'm like, that's me and my daughter. And it was our back. So there's no faces in the picture. It's my daughter and I walking together on the training grounds of the Suffolk, New York Fire Academy during the Joey D weekend in November 2 years ago now, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe three.
Yep.
And we're walking, you and I had just met, I think, right? Is that what? No. Did I know you before that, or we picked it up in Texas
So no, that
after
was the
that?
first time we had met.
That was the first time. Okay.
Yep.
And so we have a nice conversation. I recognized who you were, your name, right? I mean, your name is like, Drew's not wrong, bro.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You should be a movie star, man. You should be a movie star. With those looks and that name,
right?
Come on,
right?
guy.
Just need your and Drew's hair.
Yeah, and instead you're telling you. Listen, I work hard at this. You know what I'm saying?
Gosh.
So, so there it is, that photo, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, and then I looked, it was it was you. And then I was like, well, that's really cool. That's a great photo. And then I read your words, and God, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. You were super kind in your words about me and my daughter and in watching our relationship just in the short amount of time that we spent with you. My kids are my everything, and I expose them to as much as I can, and I always make them feel a part of whatever I'm doing, and that means to introduce them to everyone, right? And it's like I don't come over and talk to you and pretend that my kids aren't there or even forget that they're there. I know they're there because they're important to me. And so I introduced, Paige was with me that day. She wanted to come and just check it out. And she's 17 years old. And who doesn't want, listen, you're doing it right when your 17-year-old daughter wants to hang out with you and go to the fire training ground, right? And my daughter has no interest in firefighting. This is my daughter that's not involved in the fire service. This is my daughter that has no desire to be a firefighter at all. And, but just wanted to hang with me for the day. And she came, and I introduced her to probably 200 guys that day, right? And so on. But you captured a moment of us walking away, and just like us, it almost looks like we're holding hands. We're not, but it almost looks like we are. We're walking shoulder to shoulder, and for me, that's a photo. But your words and the way you captured it, I truly started to tear up in my truck, and it was a moment for me that I'll never forget. And I'm super grateful. And actually, I've meant to ask you if I could ever get the hard copy of that. I would.
Yeah, I'll definitely send that to you.
I would love to. I'd love to put that on my wall. But I'll tell you, man, it matters. What you do absolutely matters. Drew saying that he's got some of your photos hanging up. Like when you go and shoot those Venator Search guys, you capture moments. There's so much hard work and passion and love for what they do. And for you to be able to capture that and share that, that's a moment in time that, God forbid, one of our brothers or sister or something happens. And I know you've had that happen, Chance, where you took probably the last photo of a guy, right? These moments can happen. And, there's that whole thing, take the group shot, there's something to that, man. In the world in which we live today, where everything's being captured, you know what? Take a picture and celebrate what you're doing with the friends and brothers and sisters you want to do it with. And Chance, you do that. And you did that for me with my daughter, and I am forever grateful for that moment. That was one of the kindest things somebody has done for me in a very long time that I can remember that was not solicited by me. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It was huge. It was cool.
That's where the concept of take the group photo, though, I kind of challenge people on that. And we often say that after someone's passed.
100%.
And we're saying it out of a selfish ambition of man, you know what? Firefighter A passed away. I wish I would have taken more photos. Hey, guys, take the group photo. And we're saying that because in that moment, we wish we had more photos of them. And whether it be the photo I posted of you and your daughter, or I think Venator Search does a really good job of this. And I'm not just saying this because Drew's on here. But they travel together as a team.
Right.
And they do stuff together as a team outside of the training ground. And I've seen them at baseball games. I've seen them at pubs. I've seen them on ferries. I've seen them interacting together. And then they post this to talk about the team, not just, hey, here's the new training tactic. Here's this. Eric has an appreciation for the guys he's surrounded himself with. And even though Drew would never ask for it, when someone posts something and says, hey, I'm proud to work with these guys, that means something. That has value. And it's not that hard. Now some people need to learn spell check and Grammarly and some of those things. But it's not, putting together words with a photo is not that challenging. And I just wish more people would do it, because it
It's
really does make a
it
bigger difference than people
it's not when it
realize.
comes from the heart and when it's authentic, right? And I think that like that's the thing. It's not manufactured. And like I've been going down that road lately with a couple friends, like just with the podcast. I'm always thinking about different things. And a friend of mine said that to me recently about instructors. And we were talking about the caliber of instructors that are out there and how so many are trying so hard to be a national speaker or a national instructor. And it doesn't happen when you manufacture it. You have to allow the process to happen and grow into that position. And a lot of people try so hard to find a way to break into the circuit, for lack of better words, quote unquote. But it's manufactured. It's not real. It's not authentic, right? Like if you build it, they will come. And I firmly believe that. Chance makes a great point, Drew. Your crew, you guys do enjoy one another. It's not just a training cadre. Like you guys are truly friends, right? Like this whole,
Yeah.
it's awesome to see and watch.
Yeah, we are. It's cool. We've got, I mean, trying to think right now. I've got three separate group chats all going with the same people. Why do we have three different groups? I don't know. But we have it. So no, but yeah, I mean, to put it bluntly, we hang out like friends.
Yes,
We hang out like brothers. We fight like brothers. We kind of go through it all. And the longer we spend together, right, we have those little hiccups here and there. But at the end of
of
the
course.
day, um, we know so much about each other, that if we weren't experiencing all those emotions, it would be weird, you know. We took Eric to his first baseball game.
Nice.
Heck, it was I went to one of my first MLB games with that group. Um, that group is the first to find out, like when one of the guys is having a baby, when one of the guys had any kind of trouble, like at home or the firehouse, whatever that may be. Um, and me and Jimmy and Eric, we talk about this all the time. Like I look forward to going on these trips. Obviously, I love teaching, I love instructing, but I don't my wife's gonna kill me. I love going on a week vacation with my buddies,
100%.
Um,
Come
you
on.
know, and this kind of takes there's another point I want to make with this, but like I never saw myself in this position.
Mm,
It was always a goal, and I wouldn't even if somebody came to me and said, "How do I force my way into the teaching circuit?" Like I don't even know how that's possible, because I feel like I was just like a leaf blown in the wind that I just got swept up, and here we are today, and I've been very fortunate. And little side point, jumping back into Chance's pictures, before we get too far away from it. For anybody who doesn't know Chance, or has never maybe seen him at a conference or whatever, there's a good chance you're at the conference and you don't see him.
right.
And I think that's what's so cool about his stuff is every picture he takes is, I mean, the guy could be 300, 400 feet away, and it looks like he's standing right next to you. And I think that's cool because out teaching, whether it could be me at the firehouse, at the training ground, whatever. When you turn the camera on and you start recording or taking pictures, you try
Right.
to, I don't want to say be this character, but you
No, it's
tighten up, you
different.
make everything you do
Yeah.
look good, and
Hmm.
you're being filmed. And for me, when I've seen Chance take my pictures out teaching and stuff, when I see that, it's so like humbling, and it really sets you back, and makes you
Right.
think like, man, this is who I am. This is cool. Like I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know I was having this conversation. Like it really makes you think and live in the moment. And I've had so many experiences now with students in the class where I know the pictures are going to get posted. So as soon as he puts them up, I go check them out. I start going through the ones of our group, and I'll take them all and I'll start forwarding them out to all the students. And I've whether they're back home in another state or I see them at the bar later that night, so many times do they say like, man, like that's so cool. I didn't know that was being taken, or man, that's what I look like when I'm doing this. And they're so like taken back by the fact that whatever self image they have, whether it's completely changing it for the better or it's
Yeah.
confirming that they can believe in themselves. I think that's really awesome. And
But that's exactly what I was talking about. When you're ready to take a photo or you know you're being filmed, it's manufactured.
yep,
When you don't
Yeah.
know and it's candid, and what a great photographer does, like a wedding photographer, right? they blend into the fabric of the event. They blend into the background. You don't even know they're there. And they capture the most special and candid moments because we are 100%, our guard is let down, and we're 100% authentic when we don't know there's a camera on us. And those are the best moments. And that's why those photos hit so well. It goes just to the instructor thing. It's not you can't manufacture it. It doesn't work. Like you said, a leaf in like it just happened for you. It's because you went all in on the process. You went all in on this on the fire service. It consumed you. You surrounded yourself with good people. You learned the trade. You learned the job, and it's just a natural progression. That's natural. That's the process. You can't manufacture this. And that's why, like with the fire service, like people have to truly understand there's room in the fire service for 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year, 12 year, 20 year firefighters, period. So enjoy it. Don't rush your process, right?
Yep.
You gotta just let it ride. You'll get there. There's no shortcuts. I don't know. I love it. Manufactured versus natural, right? It's just there's so much to that, man. So much. So, well, let's go. Where else do we want to go? Let's talk about something. What do we want to talk about? You guys are. I need more out of you. Get some energy going here, Chance. Usually you don't stop talking, and today you're not talking.
I'm listening to Drew. I'm in the presence of
Drew's
some good firemen here, so
Drew's,
I'm listening.
The thing with Drew is Drew's a quiet guy, right? So when I first met him, I was like, he's a quiet guy. And then when you get to know him, he talks. He's a talker. Don't let him fool you. He's a talker.
I do talk. I do.
I know you do, and I love it because you guys have so much to share, and that's why I get to do what I do because this platform allows us to share. So I can't tell you how grateful I am, and it's I think the fire service, like coming off of the week that I've had, I taught Monday night, I taught yesterday in Ohio, Monday in New York. When I come off weeks like this, you're fired up because, and Drew, I'm sure with you, with training and Chance, with the conferences you get to go to, that reset, that recharge. I think we get so caught up in what's bad or what's not great or the downfall of this, the fire service is failing, this, the old guys suck, the younger generation's not motivated, all this stuff. We don't focus a lot on the good stuff. And this episode today is the good stuff. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah.
We gotta make sure that we are the ones taking the charge. I want to challenge people to take the lead. It's so much easier to be negative. Try being positive. Like take the positivity of this job and go tell people what's so good about it. I was at that conference yesterday. During it, the one guy stood up. The guy that was hosting it, he works with Fire Nuggets. Nate Miller, he got up on stage and he was talking about the ground rules of the conference, this and that when it was starting. And then he said, oh, by the way, we are hiring if anybody's interested. And he started promoting his fire department to a room of 130 guys and telling them what they do well. And I sat there and I go, you want to talk about a recruitment? You want to talk about a culture that matters? This guy's standing up there promoting his job and telling people to come work there. I go, you don't hear a lot of guys talk like that. And I go, that's something that's happening. That's something that's working. That culture is excitable. It's what people want. He sees the excitement and it wants other people to come there. That's freaking cool. That's the good stuff.
We've talked, we've had that discussion a lot at my firehouse and even amongst the VES guys. And I talked about it with guys at FDIC, the recruitment, retention, how do you have those? And I'm a big believer in this conversation right here, right? The fire department is, I do have a good point here that I've been wanting to talk about. So
let's go.
The fire department is more than running calls, right? And I think we've hit that. It's about the people. It's about the stories. It's about all that. My son's got this book and I've got pictures on my phone. I've spent like 3 or 4 days and if words don't come easy to me, so maybe Chance can help me out on this.
He's a poet.
The book is Engine Company number 9, right? It's like 11 pages, cardboard, maybe 20 words in the whole book.
I know the book.
And the story is the Italian shop catches fire,
mm-hmm.
right? The guys are at the station, they get their gear on, they jump in, they're fast, they get to the call, they smash the windows, crawl through the smoke, get the baby, they come out, and how does it end? They're all partying and eating and socializing. my kind of mission with Winter Park has been, taking over our benevolent, trying to get some more activities going, get the guys out. We're playing in a softball league right now. We were sitting at dinner the other night. We had our first game. We won, by the way. No one thought we
Nice.
would, and
Nice.
we
Well
got a
done.
one. We were 2-0, and then we lost two. So now we're 2-2. But
All right.
that
500, though.
being
You're
that
500.
being said, we had such a good night just sitting around having pizza, talking, enjoying each other's company that I had to stop everybody and say, hey, like, thank you guys for coming out, because although, yes, we're all in the same department, we're all in the same crews, but more than that, we're all friends and we're enjoying our company right now. And this is what it's about. So, if you take a children's book, right, and that's what the community reads, that's what the kids read, what do they expect out of us? They expect us to show up and do our job. They expect us to be good at it and be there when they need us. But then their image of firefighters is being social, hanging out with each other, spending time outside. Um, so I think those are the keys. Talking about recruitment and retention. And Chief Rhodes hit on it great at FDIC. Um, you recruit by having a good culture and by having
Yeah.
people who want to be around each other and who want to post about the fire department and talk about it, um, and then you retain them by creating that environment for them. And that's something that I look back on, and even going this whole conversation, right? I look back growing up as a kid. There's very little I remember about my dad's career in a sense of like calls he ran and things that he did at work. I remember almost every lake party, all the
Yeah.
fire department
Right.
campouts, all of his coworkers, right? The kids I grew up with, like, that's what I remember. And the thing that excites me now about having a son and being in the fire department is not, telling him about medical calls or whatever. It's about, him to see the patches that I've collected, meet the guys I work with and their kids, and, come to these conferences with me and experience all that. Um, so I think that's what we need to hit on is, just continue building that culture, making it a place that people enjoy, and realizing that it's more than just at the fire high. It's more than just the calls.
There's so much to that. I love that. Rhodes, I released an episode today with Chief Rhodes. I had him on the other day, published today. I wanted to talk about his mission purpose service, keynote that he used as the opening at FDIC, because there were so many messages within that were well put together, and it parallels great with a lot of what I talk about, right? And I talk about recruitment and retention. Well, I think it's two very separate topics. And I always say, let's not focus on recruitment. Let's look at the retention. Let's fix the retention. Let's build a culture of firemanship, and everything else is second, firemanship first. Let's build a culture that people want to be a part of, and recruitment is automatic. Right? Nate Miller, that guy I was just talking about in Ohio, he was up there on the stage. Nobody asked him to promote his own department. He got up there because he loves where he works. They have a good culture, and he wants more people to come there. He's excited. Who's a better steward than somebody that actually works there to be the one to share the message to potential recruits? And so if you have a really good culture and you retain your people and you give your people what they need and want and desire, and you give them a place that they enjoy being at, that is your recruitment. 100%. That's how it's done. But we focus so much on recruitment. We focus on so much of that. We don't even worry about the guys we already got in our door. Like, we're already there. We signed up. We're in. You invested in me. Now, why do you forget about me? Why do you make my life difficult? Why are we worried about check boxes and JPRs and not actual firemanship? Like, what are we doing, right? Create a focused mission, and your people will succeed. And if they succeed, then people will want to come. Period. I believe that. Drew, I love that about that, man. And you're right, man. It is about the people. I was just listening to a podcast on the way here. I don't listen to fire podcasts, but the guys that put shows out on my channel, Pip and Mickey, every once in a while I'll drop in and listen to one of their episodes. And I was just listening to Mickey's episode, Top Floor Tactics, View from the Top Floor. He was talking with Mike Smith, who's a friend of his. He's a guy in 48 Engine, really good fireman. I don't know him. I've heard great things about him. Good guy. And they're talking about it. And he goes, it's about the guys. Like, even when I'm not in the firehouse, I wish I was there to hear the stories and learn what these guys are dealing with in their own lives. Like, that stuff matters. It's not just about going to the fires. It's about sitting around that kitchen table, or it's about that 3 a.m. impromptu bumper talk because you got back from a bullshit run, can't go back to sleep, and so you're gonna stay up for another 45 minutes, and you go down some crazy rabbit hole about how you're a fan of the Brady Bunch, and you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's those random things, but I think that's what fuels us, right?
Yeah. You know what I think too is you talk about it. We hear it all the time, and I'm guilty of it. I think everybody is about finding something to complain about or being upset. Why do they not have this for us? Why?
Right.
My answer to that is if you find yourself in that position, which I have many times, be the person who changes it. Right.
Be
So
the change.
the last probably 3 or 4 when I first started with Winter Park, there was a soccer team, and I loved playing on it. It was great. Whoever was running it, probably got busy and the team fell apart. For the last couple of years, I've been saying, man, I wish there was something we could do. I wish there was a team. I wish we could play something. Well, who better than to start it than the one complaining about it? So I sent a text out, got 17 people together. Now we have a softball team. There were people who were wanting to do let's bike rides right in my department. What do? They put it together, right? If you find yourself always, and I'm not attacking anybody or saying that this is somebody, but if you find yourself complaining about something and wanting to see a change and wanting to do station
Love it.
shirts or stickers or teams or
Do it.
training, just go do it.
Do it.
People will follow you. It's very, very simple. And if you're, even if you're scared, there are plenty of people who are willing to help out, who are willing to get things going. And I've challenged a couple guys in my department. At some point, you bleed yourself dry. Like you start to thin yourself out to where you can't run everything.
I've been there. I know it.
And there's a guy right now. Basically he was asking, "Hey, can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do this?" I said, "Look, dude, I will give you my full support and whatever you need. You just go plan it.
Yeah,
You do it and let me know
right.
what you need." He
Right.
did it, and now they're up and running.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
I'm a big believer in that.
There's so much there. Go ahead.
And I would just say to echo that, we live in a world right now where like authentic and real and all these terms are buzzwords and they're put out there. And I'm my true self. And we've kind of forgotten this word commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And like what Drew's talking about right now, the moment he committed to starting that softball team, he was in it. And it didn't matter if 17 people signed up or 2, he was going to see that through. And I think whenever we commit to things, Webster Dictionary says the state of quality of being dedicated to a cause is the definition of commitment. 1. And we can all get behind, like, oh, I'm committed to the fire service. Like, awesome. The second definition for commitment, though, is an engagement or obligation that restricts freedom of action. Restricts. And so often, I'm going to use Drew and Vendor Search as an example. He told us at the beginning of this podcast, hey, you know what? We all go out, we have fun. We bump heads from time to time because that's what brothers do, and we don't agree on everything. But it's their commitment to one another that prevents them, restricts their ability to cancel each other and go talk trash about each other and talk negative about it. And we have a ton of people, not just in the fire service specifically, but I think we're at a time in history where commitment's gone. I'm not happy, I'm going to bash you. You know what? I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to cancel you. I don't like my fire department, so I'm going to go talk trash about it. There is no perfect training company. There is no perfect fire department. There is no perfect softball team. And
well, there's one in Winter Park.
You're getting there. You're at 500, Drew.
There.
You're 2-2, pal. You got a long season ahead.
I really think that's something that even whenever people come to me right now and they're like, hey, man, how do I start doing what you're doing? 1, commit. Like, you're going to show up with a camera and no one's going to know that you're whoever you are. The first time I ever took pictures of the guys from Vendor Search was in Spartanburg, South Carolina, at a class in 2021. And Jimmy didn't know they didn't know who I was. I knew the guys at Spartanburg because that's the fire department I worked with. And it was so cool 2 years later for Jimmy to suddenly put the picture, like the dots together. Oh, you're that guy that was in Spartanburg.
Right.
I don't introduce myself. I don't wave a flag. Well, now I wave a flag, but I don't go around beating my chest. And so many people want this instant, like, hey, I have an idea. Everybody get behind it. And to Drew's point, if you truly believe in something and you're going to pursue it, you have to commit, because in the world that we live in, not everyone's going to see the social media post announcing it. And so if you announce it and then only 3 people like it and you quit, man, that's not commitment. That's not making a difference. It's you looking for validation and self-worth and other things. But if you truly feel called to something, whether it's building a business, starting a podcast, Jeremy, you're a prime example of this, and the fact that you said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you didn't quit after 1 episode or 10 episodes. And we talk about this all the time. How many people have come to you
7 years later?
7 years later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people all the time will be like, hey, are you worried about this product or this podcast or this photographer? Man, outlive me. Like, outcommit. You won't outdo my commitment. And I think that's where you've done a great job with National Fire Radio.
There's so much of that, right?
Yeah.
And
commitment, if we were to come away with one word from today, like that's where I would challenge people. It's not authenticity. It's not cancel culture. It's not cowboy. Like, really question, what are you committing to? Is it the fire service? Is it your spouse? Is it the job? Is it a business venture? Like, if we had more committed people, the world could change quickly. And there's a whole tangent I could get
without a doubt. And I made some notes while you were going, because like, if you've never sat through my Bridging the Gap class, all these things I talk about them, right? And one of the things that I find really interesting in the world in which we live today is the self-worth and the validation that you mentioned, Chance. And I have a slide in my program. It's called Be the Change. And it's a picture of a guy shoulder loading a 24-foot in a back parking lot with his gear on. And it said, you don't like what's happening, be the change. And not every fire company will change. You can't get everybody out of the recliners, right? But doesn't mean you need to sacrifice yourself because they're not following through on what you want. If you want more, go get it. But it takes consistency and hard work. The problem is more people hike today than ever before. And the reason why they hike, it's to get to the top of the mountain, take a photo of themselves so they can share it on social media, and everybody can see that they were outside for the day hiking. They probably hate hiking, but they did it for the validation and self-worth that I want to share a picturesque photo of me in nature. Think about how crazy that is, how much we give a shit about what other people think of us. And so the problem becomes you beat your chest, right? You want to be the change? You don't need to go tell everybody you're going to be the change. You just go do it. You put the work in, you put your head down, you grind. You go outside on every tour or in a volunteer firehouse. You go outside every time you're at the firehouse and throw that 24 10 times by yourself in gear. And you do it time and time again because you're doing it for yourself, no one else. But today we do everything for the looks and the feels. And so when you come back in after throwing that 24 and the guys didn't come out and help or play or be a part of it, you're like, you guys are lazy. You guys suck. I'm better than you. Well, you just ruined any opportunity for that love and passion to grow, because everybody knows you're in it for yourself now, and you're not there grinding, making yourself better. You're there to let everybody know you're doing it because your ego matters. That's the problem. We can't beat our chests. Like, if you want to be better in life, go be better. You want to be a better husband, father, fireman, go be better. Just shut the fuck up. I learned early on in business, and I struggled with this because, truth be told, the first couple of years of National Fire Radio, this was something different and new to the fire service, and I felt that I needed validation along the way. And so I was seeking validation from people at times. And what I came to find out was when you do that, you tend to run your mouth and give a lot of your secret sauce away. And I don't mind giving stuff away because 99% of the people will never follow through on any of my ideas anyway, right? But what I did do was fall down on a lot of things that I intended to do or wanted to do, and I haven't done them yet. And so when you run your mouth and you're looking for validation, there's not really accountability built in there. And what I had to learn over time, I always talk about with maturity comes clarity. I came to realize that I need to keep my ideas and thoughts to myself, and I don't need validation anymore. I am very comfortable in my skin. I'm very comfortable who I am. I just spoke at a conference yesterday with a couple big names, and you know what? I was fine. I was just fine. You know what I'm saying? So my point is this: do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. And Chance, you're right, bro. Like, look at how many changes you came out and you were like, hey, man, Honor Supply Co., it's my love, it's my passion, but I also have to pay my bills, so I got to go work for Safe, right? And so,
Yep.
like, and you came out and told the world that, like, hey, it's going to change a little bit, things are going to look a little bit different, but I have to do this for myself. You're doing that to hold yourself accountable and to let people know that you're still there, right? We can constantly change and evolve. And Drew, how many years in the fire service for you, bub?
I hit 10 this year.
10. You got a
Nice.
long, long road ahead.
I
If you
do.
don't like where you are in 10 years, you can be somewhere different in 11 or 12. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this. But the problem is, it takes work. It takes work. And for a long time, I didn't understand that. For a long time, I was Tommy Boy. In my program, there's a big picture of Tommy Boy. Fat, drunk, and stupid. I was fucking lazy. I was entitled. I didn't put the work in. Today, I fucking grind. You have to. I've come to realize that you want to be accountable. I want to go speak. I want to go stand on a stage and educate people and tell them my experiences. I got to be humble and authentic about that approach. And I can't embellish. You got to be accountable. And that takes work. We need people
And
to
the
put the
embellished
work in.
part is tricky in the world we live in. But
100%.
to echo on what you just
Come
said
on, look
too,
at this
so
private jet. Look at this car. They're not even
right?
theirs, right? Come on.
I follow an Instagram account that like debunks all those guys, and it's hilarious.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, right.
I think one thing that doesn't need to be mistaken in what you just said, though, of doing it for yourself doesn't mean you have to do it by yourself.
Correct.
And
Mm.
even my transition into safe industries, that was me, my wife, and about three people that prayed through that, talked about it, asked questions. And then once I shared it, those three guys will still hold me accountable. But then you open yourself up for you and I had a very honest conversation at FDIC where you're like, hey, man, I'm super proud for you. But don't forget what you've been called to do. I'm going to
That's
hold
right.
you accountable to making sure you still honor people.
I love
And
that.
that's where I'm appreciative is whenever you kind of open the door, not everybody needs to know everything. But whenever you allow people in, you don't have to listen to what everyone says because people, you're not going to make everybody happy. But Jeremy, you're someone that I have a lot of respect for. And I believe I told you at FDIC, hey, if you see me getting out of line, call me and call me to the mat pretty quickly.
And I
And
would
so I
expect the
think that,
same. I would expect the same.
so random fact, I Googled this while you were just talking. In pursuit of likes, followers, and viral fame, some are paying the ultimate price. This was released 2 days ago. Selfie-related deaths are now growing at a public health concern. Between '08 and 21, more than 379 people have died while attempting to take selfies, a figure that now
I
exceeds
love it.
annual global shark attack fatalities. So more people die taking selfies now than they do getting eaten by a shark.
That is awesome.
And there's a list of asinine things here, like railroad tracks, taking selfies on railroad tracks and
Right.
getting hit,
Right.
licking electrical wire cords. Like
Yep.
it's what people
Yep.
are doing for validation is crazy. But that's where my heart kind of hurts for people because I'm very blessed to have grown up in a family where even without faith, you're taught that you're worth something. And today, even in the fire service, I think a lot of people come into it thinking that their identity is going to be as I'm a fireman and that's going to change everything. And
Mhm.
that's not it because you're still a husband, you're still a father, you're still a mother, you're still a sister, you're still all these different things. And so the fire service is just part of who Drew is. It's part of what you've done, Jeremy. And we can't put all of our identity in these things that at the end of the day can be taken away from us. They can end. And that's where I feel like a lot of people, we go back to next rung and having some of
Yeah.
these conversations about why we're wearing these jerseys.
Mm.
It is that thing that, hey, I'm going to join the fire service and now I'm going to feel self-worth. Well, man, you're valuable whether you're a firefighter or not.
Yes.
Hey, I'm going to join the fire service now, and these guys are going to take me under their wing, and I'm going to start traveling with Vendor Search, and I'm going to be awesome. Hey, man, even if you don't join that cadre, you're still valuable. And I think that's where I wish, because I don't, outside of my beliefs and my faith, I could just impart in somebody like, hey, man, your life is worth something. And just because it's not, you don't find that value in what you see on social media as being
Right.
popular or successful, doesn't mean you should tap out because there is a place for you. And you bring up a great analogy with Drew. He's 10 years in. If he changes career paths completely and becomes a wakeboarding coach in 5 years, That's okay.
That's
If
not so bad. I'm telling you right now.
that's not
It's
so
not so
bad.
bad. It's
Yeah.
not so
And
bad.
so we all have, I think, a responsibility to do what's on our hearts and what we feel called to in the moment. But it's also okay if that season changes. And like for me as Chance Craven, I am a leader in chaotic situations and a rapid problem solver. Through my history and my upbringing, like that's what makes me unique. And there's been seasons where I do that and I'm able to help people as a firefighter, as a photographer, now as a chief brand officer at Safe Industries, because my identity has never been in a profession. It is, hey, here is who I am and what makes me valuable. And I'm going to go use that to serve other people. And I feel like we have a lot of, I don't say young kids in a bad way, but young adults that the moment this shifts and they're like, oh, well, I got fired from firefighting, or I lost this job, or I didn't pass the test, or I didn't get into FDNY, my world's over. And that's where I wish I could just sit down with those people and be like, hey, man, it's not over.
Why
Like,
do you think, is it because we're so worried about what everybody thinks of us? Are we in a world today where because of this, these selfie deaths, right? Like on the rise, like are we so caught up in a world of showmanship today that we don't necessarily even understand what the mission is anymore? Does that make
I think
sense?
less than getting caught up in the showmanship and look at me, it's more of the comparison. And it is that, oh man, I just bought a brand new F-150, but Tom brought an F-250. Gosh, my F-150 is garbage. Oh, I took my family to a week-long camping trip in a real tent because that's what we could afford. But Jimmy went to Charleston and stayed in a five-star resort all week. You know what? My camping trip didn't mean anything. And we live in a world now where because we're so connected, we compare everything. And so, no, regardless of what we have, people are like, oh, well, I don't have that. And it happens all the time with fire departments. I see it traveling the country all the time. Like, I'll go somewhere and they're like, oh, you know what? We don't get leather helmets. Crappiest place on earth. And I'm like, but you have brand new apparatus. You have, yeah, but so and so has leathers. And it's like, can you not just be happy for what you have and be content and committed to this circle? And so I think it's less about like, hey, look at me, and more about, hey, look at me because I'm trying to be this person or live up to this hype. And people aren't content. We're not committed to what's in front of us. We're wishing and dreaming we were somewhere else.
Yeah. I think access to, I think Instagram is Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a big proponent in that.
Mm,
The access to, I mean, first off, the social media, right? And the way that Honor Supply Co. and there's a lot of people who use it for the right reasons, right? Capturing those real moments. I've done this before in promoting events and again, taking videos for reels, like taking pictures. Our brains are programmed now, right, to capture this moment in time that's perfect. Well, what happens if I can't achieve that, right? What if I want to do a video of throwing a ladder to a window and masking up in 10 seconds and all this, and I can never do that? Well, now let's jump further back. I want to be a fireman, and we talked about this in my original podcast. Is I want to be a fireman, and I want to look like this, and I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I never reach that goal, or right, or it comes, or God forbid somebody gets injured, or that your image of what you've created you're not going to amount to, or I don't want to say you're not going to amount to, but you just never reach. And it could be for whatever reason. It might be a completely unrealistic goal, right? And I worked in a high school for about 6 years coaching soccer and working in athletics, and that was a huge problem that I saw is that, like Chance was saying, that comparison to others, right?
mm.
And it was all based on, oh, this person got this amount of likes on their post, or look what they did. They went to the Bahamas over the summer, and look how happy they are, and look at this. What they don't know is, it's just a fraction of time that's been filtered and changed. And like you said, there's whole accounts now to debunking these people
Sure.
who are faking pictures, right? So I think that's just killing young kids' brains is they think everything is going to be this perfect image and everything's going to be perfect when every other second of that day might have been terrible, but that one picture captured something that was good, and that's what they're now comparing everything to. Um, and
Do
again,
you
I think we're all guilty of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think you're right in a lot of ways with that. I wonder, there's so much to, like, okay, so the fire service, right? I talk about this a lot, where it's knowledge and experience actually matters in this job, right? And that only comes with opportunity and time. And some guys go to 1,000 fires in their first 3 years. Some guys never go to 1,000 fires in a 30-year career, right? So, like, everybody's career is different, but it's the process of it. And I guess, like, I look at my kids today and I think about, I mean, my two daughters that are still home are 17 and 18. I mean, this is like impressionable time, right? I mean, they are shit. When I was 17, 18 years old, I was not as smart as they are. I was not as well put together. I didn't care about all the things they care about today. It was a very different time for me and my generation versus their generation. But what they lack is patience. They love immediacy. Everything is now. I mean, shit, even on this podcast, Chance looked up Google on 3 separate occasions to get information, and it's at the click of your fingers you get the answers, whereas we could have argued about what the definition was before, but he had it word for word, right? So, like, my thing is this, is the process matters, and when you take the process out of the equation and people are seeing, this grandioso view of life by somebody else, they see that as like, I don't have that, or I want to achieve that. It takes work. There's a process involved. And not only that, that's if it's actually real. Like, if you think about it, I was listening to this the other day. They were talking about, like, influencers. Everybody wants to be an influencer now. They don't want to be a movie star anymore. Nobody wants to be a rock star, movie star. Everybody wants to be an influencer. All these kids, the Gen Z generation, Gen Alpha, they want to be influencers. Even to be an influencer, do you know how much freaking work it takes? The work ethic that has to go in to getting to be able to build a brand and a thing that allows you to become an influencer with growth and experience. Like, it takes work. I think everybody's afraid of the work. Everybody wants it now. And as soon as they come up against some adversity, as soon as they get pushback, and I'm seeing this in the firehouse, I'm seeing it on the training grounds, and I'm seeing it at fires. As soon as somebody gets kicked in the teeth, they shut down instead of doubling down and getting back at it. We need people to get back on the horse. You're going to get kicked in the teeth. 8th place trophies don't work. So we know that. So when you come into the real world and you come to the fire department cannot hand out 8th place trophies. We cannot. Period. And I think that's where we are right now. And so as soon as kids that are coddled over time come up and they have no adversity, they get no pushback. I do, listen, what I talk about is generational differences. And what does every generation do that's similar to the next? We make the next generation softer. I do more for my kids than my parents ever did for me, right? So I'm creating entitlement. I'm making them softer. And so when you look at all of that and then you parlay that into your firehouses, what the frig do you think's going to happen? Reality has to set in. People have to understand that life takes work, and we can sit and whine and cry, or you can pull up your pants and go to work. And I just think that we need to really focus on that. And
But I think the problem in that
it's important.
is, so like I think that it's always been that way. And so, like, me turning 40 this year,
Oh my
I grew
God,
up
you're
watching
old.
right?
Jeez.
I grew up watching The Sandlot, wishing that I could be in like a baseball movie.
Yeah,
And
I was
how
that
cool
chubby
that would
kid,
be.
man. That was me. Totally
And
me.
but I think just the perspective has changed, and now we talk about influencers and everybody wanting to be that. We grew up like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, a doctor, a lawyer, an astronaut. And we would say that as kids because that's what we saw on a real news channel in between these things called commercials.
Yeah, I wanted to be a
And we
fireman.
aspired to be something without understanding the work. Even a
Right.
fireman, whether it was 20 years ago or today, I want to do that.
Yes.
Well, hey, do you understand there's a commitment? Do you understand there's a CPAT? Do you understand there's training? Do you understand there's school? Now we just live in a world where it is so much more hyper focused on the success. And that's where I think that is
I
the
like that. I
encouraging
like that. I
part
like that. Yeah.
of hey, if you want to go be a part of Vent or Search, man, come scoop out hay and muck out burn buildings whenever they do 200 burns in a day and you don't get your own gear yet, you don't get anything other than, hey, here's the next assignment. It's not an attaboy. It's not a, hey, he did so great. Like, you have to show up and do the work. And I think that fire service specifically, part of this challenge is the workers, the guys that are doing the majority of this stuff, they don't talk about it. And this is where I kind of push back on people is I go and document this 24-hour course called One Bad Tour. And it is literally from morning until 24 hours later the next day. Basil and the team at Proactive Rescue Operations, they they do some hard work, but the majority of people that have completed that program or are training for it, you never hear them talk about it. You never hear them share it. If me and Sam with camera worthy photos weren't there to take the pictures, there would be no one to even document it. And we have to get over this mentality of, well, I'm not going to share anything because then I'm boastful. Hey, the right hand shouldn't know what the left hand's doing type mentality. And that's where I struggle in the fact that, hey, we're going to sit back and complain about all this negativity online and people not knowing how to work. Hey, go be the example. And to Drew's point, if you want to fix the problem, these kids need to learn how to do A, B, and C. Oh, well, what do you do about it? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, then let's stop complaining about it.
Right.
Or,
Yep.
hey, what mentorship program have we created? What are we doing? And it's so easy to sit back and bash people that, oh, well, did you see so and so put out a fitness program on how to become a firefighter? Let's make fun of them. Hey, he's at least giving some framework of the actual work that goes into this.
Yep.
It's this concept of the hardest working are always, or most of the time, the most humble. And I think we just have to encourage them. It's why I love Honor Supply Co. Because we aren't sitting around tables photographing people in recliners. We're literally showing the people that very rarely take selfies, very rarely talk about themselves, and putting them in a light where it's like, oh, did you see that? I mean, I got this text. I'm not going to say the person's name. Um, Even the other day, I want to say thank you for doing what you do. In 25 years of doing this, I just don't have pictures of me doing anything with the fire department, let alone ones from someone that actually makes a good photo. Like these constant repetitive things of, hey, I've been in this for 25 years. There's not a single photo of me. Why? Like, it's okay to take a picture. It is
Yeah,
okay
yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about it. But I staple that with it has to be authentic. And that is where if a brand new firefighter comes in and starts posting their training program about how to become an officer and they've been on the job for 2 minutes, if somebody creates a brand new product for the fire service and they've only been through recruit school, if you've been in the fire service for 10 years and you create something and you have training to back it up, and it's a different story. But I think that in light of not saying anything because you don't want to insert yourself into a narrative that is 99% negative. I think that's where Honor Supply Co. has found success, is we've said, hey, we'll acknowledge all those bad things. We'll acknowledge the naysayers. We see it. We see the cancel culture. We're not going to get involved in any of it. We're going to change the direction of this ship and start driving it
Amen.
this direction.
Yeah.
That's what we need from people saying, hey, here's how you become an officer. Here's how you get into the fire academy. Here's how you start a training company.
Takes work.
Yeah, that's a lot of verbal vomit to be like, hard work always works.
Can I share a story about One Bad Tour real quick?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let me tell you about this. And I've heard and I've seen on social media some of the negativity about it, right? It is a threatening program. It These guys are intense. They're good at what they do. They are awesome guys. Okay, so I did the first class of it. We saw it come out. I've known Basil. I used to ride with him as an explorer back in the day. Um, I love Basil. Once I got further into my career, Basil's an intimidating guy. If you never met him, he's
Right.
massive.
He's
He
intense.
towers over you. His persona, he's got a big persona about him, and it's
His
intimidating.
voice,
And
his voice alone.
so they release One Bad Tour, right? The first class of it. We sat at the firehouse, and Eric wanted to do it. One of our guys, Sleater and Rescar, they're also a VES. They all wanted to do it. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. A couple weeks now go by, and every single day was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not that. Like, I'm gonna forget this, forget to sign up,
Right.
or
Yep.
something, right? So I'm
Totally.
sitting at home watching a TV show about the selection or something like that, and again, back to my point earlier, I was like, you know what? This is my time to either, you know, do it or shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got on, signed up right there, paid, done. So we show up for the class. You show up out in Leesburg in this beautiful training facility, but feels like you're in the middle of nowhere. They all are like dressed up, buttoned up to a T. Like the cadre looks phenomenal, and my heart sunk into my stomach. It was a very intimidating thing to walk
I
up
bet.
to, and I had my preconceived ideas on what this class was and what I was going to take away from it, and that I was having to prove something to my crew, to other guy, whatever the case may be. Um, like Chance said, it's 24 hours long. It's a grueling class. Um, the whole time, all the cadre there is very uplifting. They don't want to see you fail.
Sure.
They want you to be better. They want you to get better. So my point to this is, one, the whole takeaway for me, again, like, I don't know that there is much to talk about the class, because it was all just it made me realize that I could do something that I told myself for so long I couldn't do. And that has value to me. I don't think that has value to anybody else. So if you're somebody who is unsure of your capabilities, or if you see this class or you look at it and you're like, oh, that's whatever those guys, that's stupid. Why would they stay up for 24 hours? Blah, blah, blah. Go do it. Put yourself in the situation, have that experience, finish it, and then say whatever you want. The second thing being, at the end of the class, they do this big final scenario. And I was with Eric, who at the time was my lieutenant, now my battalion chief. Um, my whole group, all Winter Park guys, voted to put me as the lieutenant, the captain of the group, if you will. Final scenario right now, I'm the lieutenant. Eric is my fireman. It's this, I'm having to learn this new dynamic. After the whole thing, I'm sure I made thousands of mistakes, which again is okay. Basil came up to me, pulled me aside. This guy that I had this image of how
Mm-hmm.
intimidating and how he's just going to beat me up, and that was a joke at our station, was I was going to get pummeled into the ground by Basil. Pulls me aside, and all he had was positive things to say.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge. I think, to be able to put something on like that and push people to their limits, and to build this whole, I mean, this movement, right, of one bad tour. It's everywhere right now. Um, the Basil, the guys don't want anything out of it. They don't want any self-recognition other than bettering the people who go through the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. And, same thing with Eric with the VES group. We're a tight group. We're relatively small. Never once has he told somebody they can't come out and they can't be part of it. It's exactly what Chance said. It's, hey, come out, stoke some fires, shovel some hay, do this. And you're not even earning your spot. It's just show that you're committed,
Yes.
right? And then, I mean, because it's a great opportunity. And and he's made people eat their words. They sit and complain about why they can't do it, or, oh, the VES guys are this and that and blah blah blah. He says, hey, come, we got a class next week, come on out, I could use you. And guess what? They don't show up.
Of course not.
So but anyway, a little tangent there, but the one
No,
bad tour class, the move, everything about it.
I love it because, you were talking about like, I signed up, but I'm not going to do it, this and that. And then you come to a point where you held yourself accountable, and the fulfillment, I have to ask, like, when it was all said and done, you had to be riding a serious high, right? Because, like, I know when I get involved with real challenging projects or things that I'm involved with or things that I don't even know if I could pull off, right? My mouth writes checks that I don't even know if I can, pull off, right? Like things that I do. And so then it's like, well, here's the challenge. Like, you don't get to shy away from it, right? And I think what's fun about that is, like, I challenge people to challenge themselves. And I think fulfillment is probably one of our biggest issues for guys when it comes to their own self-worth. And I think so many people lack fulfillment in life, which kind of brings us back to the next rung, conversation and why we're here today and so on. But fulfillment absolutely matters. You have to challenge yourself. If you stay vanilla and you never challenge yourself, or you never try butter pecan or coffee ice cream, and you just stay vanilla, you don't know anything but that. But at some point, do you really have like fulfillment and excitement in your life, like challenging yourself? And I think that that's a big part of it. Is like, I think where we are today, we get very comfortable in life. I make the same money. We vacation the same place every year. We do this, we do that. It's every Friday night I'm at the same restaurant or whatever it is. We get very comfortable. And some people love the sense of comfort. And then there's other people like me that have gotten to a point where I love just shaking it up. And when you shake it up, you feel alive, right? And then when you accomplish something or you go somewhere new and it's a win, you're like, yeah, that was awesome. Let's go back there another time. Like, it reinforces your reason for wanting more. And I think being hungry, finding fulfillment, these are things that I wish upon more people, because I think a lot of people struggle with that. And you can parlay that to the fire service and look at how many guys have gotten very comfortable in their careers in the volunteer firehouse or in the career firehouse. You can look at how many people have gotten very comfortable with who they are. You can look at people that don't put into their marriages anymore. They just go through the paces with their spouse. You can look at guys or women that are moms and dads that, their kids are playing. Not right now. I'm on my phone. I'm talking to somebody. Like, when you look at that and you think about, like, don't you want more? Like, it's comfort. I think we live in a world today where most people I know are very comfortable. It doesn't mean you have all the zeros in the bank account. Doesn't mean you can, pick up and do whatever you want tomorrow. But it means that even if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're living a lot of times in a comfortable way. And I mean that because you're not putting yourself out there to try something new. You're not willing to fail. And Drew, you challenged yourself to go. And you were intimidated by Basil, intimidated by the program. And yet I have to believe the fulfillment from that 24 hours will stay with you forever.
Yeah. And I would be, I'd be telling a lie if I didn't give credit to, the guys I took the class with. And there's something in it. I remember it. We were doing burpees, right? And I won't give away too many secrets, but they start lighting fires off pretty early, and there's some hot fires, and it gets intense, and we're doing burpees, and I go down, and it was me in the front, then Eric, and then Sleater, Caleb, and all the way in the back where the burn building was, they yanked this guy out. They start deroading him, dunk him in ice. He's fine. I saw that, and I think my eyelids disappeared. And those guys still to this day talk about it. But again, at the time in my head, I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm out. And they turned me around. They said, "Hey, stop. You're fine. Just let's just keep going. We're in this together." Yeah. And where I found comfort in finding a way out, very quickly they helped me snap back into it. They pushed me, and I would like to think that I gave the same to them. I don't know if I did, but I'm very
sure
grateful that they were there with me, and that I look back on that class, and I couldn't have imagined a better group to do it with, and it brought out a lot of important things that had nothing to do with the skills that were at hand. So I think,
bro, you talked about it before. It's the people. It's the experience. It's the people. It's who you choose to be with, who you surround yourself with. That's a big part of what the fire service and the brotherhood and the career is all about. That's it. Go all in on the people you're with, right? Enjoy your time. Push one another to be better. I talk about this in my program. If you hang out with losers, you're a loser. But, I found for so long that I hung out with guys that always talked about yesterday and today, never tomorrow. The people I hang out with today, my very close friend group, we're always talking about tomorrow. What's next? What's next on the agenda for you? What are you doing? What's your next move? How are we doing this? Let's circle back to that. How did we get that to here? Like, that's the type of people you want to surround yourself with. And I can't stress that enough, man. You get to write your own story. Nobody
Mhm.
else writes your story for you. If you want to sit and complain and whine and blame others for where you are in life, that you don't have enough time in the day, you don't have enough money, you don't get to do things you enjoy, that's your fault. Figure it out. Put the work in. But I promise you, fulfillment. And that's what I'm really focusing on. And I kind of want to just circle around a little bit to why we're here. You know, it's raising money for a good cause, looking after mental health and the fire service for our own. The whole conversation today has been about the mission. It's been about our people and the people you want to surround yourself with and the importance of personal fulfillment. What more do organizations like Next Rung and other mental health organizations truly that's what they're all about. Period. It makes sense, right?
It does.
And I think that, even to Drew's point, with he would have possibly quit if he were there by himself. And of the 7 classes that Basil and the team have put on now, I photographed 6 of them. Drew's was the only that I didn't photograph. In
Thanks
those
a lot,
six
Chance.
classes, right? But, and
Jeez.
side note, I didn't know about class one. I didn't even know about Basil
Right, right,
yet. It
right, right.
wasn't until Eric posted a photo saying that what they went through that I was like, snap, I need to reach out to this guy.
Right.
Eric has opened more doors for me going and
That's cool.
photographing things
It's
that
great.
it's been amazing. But there is a pattern in these classes where now there's hundreds of people that apply to each one. And again, it's to show up and embrace the suck for 24 hours. And hundreds of firefighters from as far away as Canada are signing up to come. But those that come by themselves
Yeah.
are often the ones that drop out. And those that come with 1 or 2 other people in their department, man, the moment that they're ready to give up, hey, come on, let's go. We're moving forward. And I think that really speaks to the vulnerability of sharing our weaknesses, the vulnerability of saying, man, I don't think I can do this. And we can look at an Eric Wheaton as, oh my gosh, Vinegar Surge, he's the man. No, he'll quickly tell you that it's Jimmy and Drew and these people around him that help him be there. Same thing with Basil. People look at him all the time and, oh, he's speaking in the big room at FDIC. Proactive Rescue Operations is so cool. No, man, he has surrounded himself with a whole team of cadre,
Right.
and he'll be the first to tell you it's not just me, it's this team of people. And we live in a society where we kind of put like the self-made person up on a pedestal. And it is, no, if we get really vulnerable and we talk about what we're scared of, what we don't think we can do, ultimately we have to make the commitment. But if we've been honest in sharing our fears, not that you get on social media and start being dramatic and share everything that you're scared of, but if you share it with those couple people, they're going to hold you accountable. I have a real fear of jumping all in with Safe Industries and Honor Supply Code not becoming what I thought it would be. But man, because of people like you, Jeremy, being like, hey, 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 not going to happen. And even the owner, Al, that I work for now, I took this position because I came to him and said, hey, man, here's some of the things I'm thinking about. I don't know business. I don't know how to build something past what it's become. I'm very comfortable right now in raising 11 grand and buying a rescue and just going to shows, but I can't do this by myself. I need a mentor. Hey, why don't you come work for me and I'll teach you anything you want to know about business?
Love that.
Whoa, what does that look like?
Yeah.
But that would have never happened because this job was never posted. It wasn't something that was there. It was a very authentic and real conversation about my fears. And then a man that's been doing this for 20 years that I have a ton of respect for said, hey, let me take you under my wing. And so, whether it's the fire service and training, whether it's starting a podcast, if we're open about, like, hey, I don't know it all and I need help in this area, whether it's mental health, whether it's finances, whether it's job decisions, if we just say, hey, I'm going to call that next rung number right now, I'm going to text my friend that's been through this before, we won't accomplish anything by ourselves. If anything, we're going to quit. And sometimes that's to the extremes. Sometimes it's a 24-hour training program. Sometimes it's a job. But if we surround ourselves with the right people, hey, here's what I'm scared of. Please hold me accountable to this. Please help me get through it. That is the mission. That is supporting each other, helping people move forward. And I think that's what we're quick to lose sight of because we don't often honor the people that are around us and talk about it. But the three of us sitting here could go down a whole rabbit hole of those that have helped us
Without
get
a
to
doubt.
any place that we are today.
Without a doubt. But I think recognizing those that have pushed us and helped us get to where we are is one thing, but it's also the other thing of taking ownership of where we want to be and how we get there. And
Yep.
what I'm curious about. Oh, look at this. Are you kidding me? Who's this guy?
This is my son. They're headed, I think, to the park or something. But he wanted to come say hello.
What a handsome man.
Hey, can you wave? Now he's shy.
No, he's shy. Awesome. I love it.
Oh, look at that hair. Gosh, it just
How
runs
old
in
is
the
he?
family over there.
He is almost 2.
Nice. Yeah,
Yep.
he's got that's a hell of a head of hair on that kid, huh? Did he have a hard
Nice.
part? Did I see a hard part on there? Yeah, it was good.
Yep. He got a comb for his first birthday just to slick it over.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
Very, very cool. Well, thank you for sharing him with us. That was awesome. And I that's Chance, what you were saying, so much there. And I guess what I worry about then is like, how do we get the message out to those that might be struggling with a lot of this? Because, I come across as a really confident guy with incredible conviction. I have my days too where I have self-doubt, and you have to just, you got to get out of there. That can eat you up, tear you down. There are things and projects that I need to do, thoughts and ideas that I didn't put out in the podcast or on a piece of social media because I worried about what other people were going to think. So I have those moments too. We all do, right? It's just, how do we stress to people that you can't let that rule you? You have to go all in on yourself. You got to have conviction. You got to believe in yourself. And you got to find ways to find fulfillment and make yourself feel good because you deserve it. You absolutely deserve it.
And you can't beat yourself up. And I think this is where, because of the world we live in and being hyper connected, especially in the fire service. Hey, did you hear so-and-so committed suicide? Gosh, it's my fault. I didn't do enough. And it's like, that's where I want to encourage people that, man, go back and listen to episode 331 of National Fire Radio with Jeremy and Drew, where Drew gets very open and honest about some of his struggles and mental health and the things that have helped him through it. And Drew, just by you being vulnerable enough to share that story, Jeremy, by you creating the platform you have done something. And at the end of the day, we are not saviors. We cannot be all things to all people. And so I think it really does come down to, man, did I do what I was supposed to do today? And other people, if they didn't text Drew or me or you, Jeremy, we can't, like, it's going to hurt that we lost somebody. It's going to hurt that someone made a decision that, man, I just talked to him yesterday. Why didn't he call me? But at the end of the day, everybody fights demons we don't know about. And I think the only way that we get better at sharing our struggles is by leading through example and not just posting the 5-star vacations and the top moments. It's okay sometimes to be like, guys, today was a shit day. Like, this sucked. And there's a quote, and I forget who said it, but the only way that we repair broken men is to raise strong children, something along those lines. And so I think it's the same way in the fire service. The way that you get a 20-year veteran to not commit suicide is by starting with the rookie today and teaching him, hey,
Yeah.
man, it's okay to struggle. Hey, it's okay to have a bad day. It is okay to talk about it. Hey, I've been there too. And I often joke that, hey, there's 2 ways to make change in the fire service. One is you pull the pin on a grenade and you shake things up. It's the route that I took with the city of Spartanburg. But then the hard part is you show up every day with your head down and you affect your firehouse. And I think that's what a beautiful example is what these guys are doing at Winter Park, where I can promise you through the years, Eric has not always loved showing up to the environment he was in. But because he's put his head down and continued to affect change, he's now a battalion chief. Like, he can do real things now because he has committed to the department. He's committed to the guys that are there. And I think that that's overlooked. It's, oh, well, it must be nice to be a battalion chief and ride around in your cool car with your white helmet. Like, no, bro, you don't know half of it. Oh, it must be nice to have a podcast with 700 episodes in 7 years. You don't know the half of it. But they don't know the half of it because we don't share it.
Yeah.
And I think some of that responsibility comes back on us where, Jeremy, I would listen to a podcast tomorrow where you shared, hey, here's the 10 obstacles I had to overcome to get to year 7 with National Fire
It's
Radio.
funny. It's funny you say that. I've been asked by many to kind of narrate a little bit of my story on that side of things. And, I think there's value there, and I probably will one day, to be honest. It's been a hell of a ride. I want to say this, right? Only now do I give myself to other people. I never let anybody in up until probably the last 2 years. Meaning, like, my struggles, my life, my trials, my tribulations, all that bullshit, the stuff you silently struggle with. I mean, only up until 2 years ago did I have a friend circle that I truly trusted unconditionally, and that's only 2 or 3 guys that I let in, and everybody else is on the outside. I have circles of friends that I love, and we laugh and we tell stories and this and that, but they certainly don't know. And I raised my kids to understand one thing, right? I said, be kind to everyone because you don't know what everybody's dealing with. And it could be the most popular kid in school or the least popular person in school. At least smile and say hello, right? Acknowledge them because you don't know. You don't even know what your best friend typically is going through. You don't know what your spouse is a lot of times going through, right? Because we suck at communicating. We don't trust people enough to let them in. And so for me, only in the last 2 years, and I'm being fully transparent right now, I have 2 or 3 guys that really know the inner workings of my brain and the things that I deal with and the struggles I have and the things I want, the things I want to achieve. And I'm 48 years old. So I went 46 years without truly having friends that I can truly be myself with. And what I would say, and the reason why I bring this up is because if you're 28 or 30 or 35 or 65, it's your story. You get to write it. So go write it. And if you don't like who you are, change it. And I came to realize that I'm better today because I've allowed myself to open up to 2 or 3 guys that truly don't judge me. They love me unconditionally, and we're allowed to have real conversations. But you know what that does? That makes you better, and it pushes you further. And those are the guys that are the winners. Those are the guys that always talk about tomorrow and not the guys that talk about yesterday or today. So you can do it. If you're struggling in the firehouse, open up to someone. Find someone. Find somebody with similarities. Find somebody outside of the fire service. Try something different, a different group, organization. I know it's hard for people today to meet. You know,
Join the
you look
softball team.
Join us or start the softball team, right?
Start the softball team.
Have pizza after your last win and talk about shit. Maybe one guy hangs around the parking lot when everybody else leaves and you're getting in your car and he's like, hey, Drew, you got a minute? Like, that's how that shit happens. You got to be willing to open up your eyes to have those opportunities. And I am so very grateful that I've been able to do that. And now I have a platform with the reach that I have that I can share that. And if that hits somebody or it helps somebody in any way, done. Like, that's what this is about, man. And that's why we're doing this today. That's why you guys went all in at FDIC on me and on Next Rung and supporting something bigger and better than you guys, bigger and better than me. Like, let's help one another. And if that comes down to whether it's an auction or a handshake or a smile, whatever it is, just do your part. Pick your head up, look around, include other people in your life. Don't be so focused on yourself all the time. Things get better. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just, this has been fun, and I truly value both of you. It's awesome, and I know you both make tremendous strides in your own lives, and you impact a lot of people along your journeys too. And there's highs and lows in that journey, and I can say that this is certainly a high for me. getting to do this. I didn't listen. We were supposed to record last week. I screwed up. Didn't get the jerseys out in time. All on me. I take full credit for it. And then today I was like, I didn't get home till late last night. I was up early this morning. I'm like 3:00 on a Friday. What am I thinking? Like the last thing I wanted to do was do this. And now I am so grateful that I did because I'm fired up. I feel good, man. This has been a fantastic conversation. So thank you. Awesome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's kind of wrap a little bit. FDIC 2026, I will be sure to have jerseys with me. I will be sure you have to bring yours back. We'll have to get a photo of the three of them put together. And then I realized I really screwed up. So I'm going to get you guys another set of jerseys. I don't know why I didn't put your names on them. I just reordered and changed the number to the year. What an idiot, right? So I saw that when Chance stood up and turned around to get the camera off the shelf. I'm like, how dumb am I that I didn't even change the name? So I'm going to get you another set.
We're all Jeremy.
The only thing I think we
No,
need
you're
to do
not.
next
No,
year,
you're not. No.
Next year, we need to have a hard time that the auction is going to take place and announce it
Yeah.
leading up to FDIC. Because it was literally by like God's divine appointment. When Drew said I just showed up like the Grim Reaper, I had no idea what was going on. I was walking in between two meetings for Safe Industries, and I was like, "Oh, this is the Jersey thing." I would have missed it. And so we need to do a better job with Next Rung and FDIC, Honor Supply, Vendor Search. Everybody's sharing like, "Hey, at this time, on this date, on Firefighters Row, we're auctioning this bad boy off."
I had plants in the crowd in case the bidding didn't go. I was gonna take it back. So, but that's pretty funny. Well, I'll say this, man. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your commitment and what you're doing. And listen, man, this is it's your generosity is certainly appreciated. Same with Drew. I mean, the two of you guys are certainly generous, but it absolutely makes sense because it's part of your story. And I think that's the sum this up, man. It's your story. Period. Let's go do it, man. You got any NFR stickers on that thing? I just sent you a ton of them.
I'm not on here. I got them on my. I need to put one on. I've got them on my fridge though. Look at this. It's hiding behind the cushions. I got my flag. I got
Love it. Love it.
Look at this brand new one right there.
Woo! Squad life, baby. I love it.
I'm dying of a little allergy cough over here right now.
You have allergies in Florida? Isn't it like 95 and sunny today? 100% humidity?
Killing me.
Yeah. The pollen here, it looks like it's snowing. Like it's coming down.
Oh.
So, you know what I mean? It piles up. It like blows around when the wind blows. You like see these like, yeah,
wow.
It's gross. Yeah, it's gross. It's gross. Well, gentlemen, Drew and Chance, thank you. What a great way to wrap up my week and moving into the weekend here. You guys crushed it, man. And I truly enjoyed this conversation. It's so funny because we didn't know where it was going to go, but the whole conversation continually circled back to the mission of Next Rung and paying it forward. And I just can't stress that enough. I think when you do for others, it comes back tenfold for yourself. Believe it. So, Drew, any last words? Vendor Search, give yourself a little plug. You're running some of the. I think you're taking a lead on some of these programs now, which is fun.
Yeah, we got. Let's see, we're going to be in Washington State next week.
That's a hell of a trip.
And then firemanship in Aurora, Illinois. The Jimmy Ellis weekend in July up in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Where else? Lexington, Kentucky.
Good.
Local classes. I'm going to put a little self plug in here. I got a new product coming out.
Oh, that's right. Hit it.
If you're a fan of the Can Confidence class, you're going to love a new can strap that's coming out. It's cresting the horizon right now, so hopefully end of summer we'll have that. Eric's always got something up his sleeve. I'm sure there's something awesome coming out. But yeah, we're doing a lot of traveling. We're going to meet a lot of new people, and we're excited for it.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing all of that. When you launch that strap, let me know. I'd love to get involved. We'll push some. We'll give some away by then. We'll have the new show out, and we'll talk about that another time. Whoops. And then, yeah, perfect. And Chance, what about you, bud? What's cooking?
Nope. Full time into the Soul Safe Industries thing now, but have brought on a guy named Caleb Jacobs. He rides Rescue One with City of Columbia in South Carolina. He's officially on retainer now and helping with a lot of the Honor Supply Co stuff. So
Awesome.
it won't always be me that you see with the camera. Show some love to Caleb. Follow him on
Caleb's a great dude,
socials,
man. He's a good
and
guy.
he is.
Real good guy.
Um, uh, he actually went to Houston and documented that for us, and so
Mm-hmm.
it's man, just super blessed. But I'd leave it with go honor someone else today.
Really well said. Really well said. And with that, thank you. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Thank you for your commitment to
brother.
making the fire service better. And, man, hang those jerseys up, and we'll see you in Indianapolis, if not sooner, 2026. Come out, see us next year. We'll be rocking these jerseys, and we'll be auctioning off another one for a good cause. So can't wait to see you all there. What a great conversation today. I talk about being the luckiest guy in the fire service. I get to talk to dudes like this that make me better. And so I'm going to hang up with them. I'm going to get out of the office today, and I'm going to go home and enjoy my family. And these guys make me want to do that even more. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your commitment to the fire service and making everything better. And lastly, to our audience, thank you. Thanks for your continued trust and listen. I love doing this, even on days that I don't want to do it. I love doing it. And when I get done with episodes, man, I'm flying high, and I am right now. So do me a favor. As I talk about it at the end of every episode, take this conversation, take it back to the firehouse and talk about it. Because when we're talking about the job, we are making the job better. And in the words of Chance Craven, go honor someone else today. We'll see you at the next one. Jeremy, National Fire Radio.
National Fire Radio.